again, is our annual check-in with David Glanzer, Director of Marketing and Public Relations for Comic-Con International.
Right.
Hey, great to see you again.
Well, good seeing you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Hey, let's do our little check-in. First of all, crowd count. How we do this year?
You know, at the end of the weekend, we'll probably have about 125, 126,000. We've had to do that self-imposed cap, but we'll have a better idea probably in a couple of weeks once we actually count, see who did show up, who didn't show up. But it should be around that number.
Compared to years past, would you say this is even without, if you consider crowd count, even people without badges, was this the largest?
Well, you know, there's a lot of activities that we've had outside too to try to move people off the floor a bit and outside of the building to make it a little bit more navigable. And I think there are a lot of people who were able to enjoy aspects of Comic-Con without actually being here. So we have no idea how many of those people there were, but we've got indicators that a lot of people who weren't Comic-Con attendees took part in the offsite activities.
You know, I mentioned this the first time we talked at WonderCon, and I'll say this because I realize it's not even an issue anymore. It's an incredibly diverse crowd.
It's an amazingly diverse crowd. You know, we always try to maintain diverse programming and a diverse floor, and I think that's reflective of the crowd we have. We have young and old. You know, just with press alone, we have media from over 30 different countries. It really is kind of a great environment for different opinions, different interests, different likes, and we all seem to get along fairly well.
And that's the neat thing. A friend of mine lost her camera, and it was returned to her. And
that's great.
I put my iPhone down somewhere. It was still there.
Yeah,
so this is a crowd of, you know, really.
I think we're all kind of in the same boat. We've always kind of been a family, and I think we try to watch out for each other. And yeah, you'd be amazed at what you find in.
Because I even lost my badge, and people were actually trying to help me look.
Oh, that's awesome!
It blew off the bridge. Yeah.
The new pedestrian bridge. This is the first year for that bridge. Yeah.
So, what things went well, and what would you like to see better? You know.
Well, certainly, always the lines are an issue. What we will do is after this event, we'll go through and have a debriefing with all of our departments. We'll go ahead and see what did work, what didn't work, what needs improvement, what could be done better, what worked in one area that we can replicate in another area. It really does take a year to put on this event, and part of that process is trying to make sure that we have a very, very cohesive debriefing to go ahead and learn from any errors or successes that we have and share those with other department heads.
You were kind enough to follow up with this with me earlier this year. The ticket situation went well after everything was said.
Well, you know, we were able to go ahead and process the badges. It wasn't as smooth as we probably would have liked, but considering we had 2 attempts where we couldn't sell any badges, it ended up, being okay. And now we have a situation where we sold, I don't have numbers, but we've sold more 2012 registration badges this year than we did last year, and then we'll also have some later on online for the general public.
And this year too, it seemed like Hollywood was more pervasive than ever.
Well, it's interesting,
I was like, wow, man.
There were reports that Hollywood was going to kind of sit out Comic-Con, and I think a lot of people talked about that. But with Francis Ford Coppola, with Justin Timberlake, with Steven Spielberg, there was a lot here.
It's too big to ignore.
It's a pretty big show.
It's too big to ignore. Speaking of which, we were here in San Diego through
2015. We signed our contract last year until 2015, and part of the ability to stay here is to create that campus atmosphere. The mayor really went to bat for us, so we're at hotels, we're across the street and all that, and there is talk of an expansion of the convention center. We'll see, how that happens. I think they're trying to secure funding now, but that's something we look forward to.
A real Comic-Con city.
Well, it certainly seems to be that way.
Yeah, it feels like because I would guess there's like 200,000 people around here.
There's a tremendous amount of people who I think don't even necessarily come into the doors, and we've heard from a lot of people too that they're coming before the event and taking part in things like the zoo and SeaWorld and all that. So
by the way,
good.
Since this is going to go up, I believe, tomorrow, what would you like Comic-Con patrons to do and to know for next year?
Plan. So check out our website, comic-con.org. Find out, when the tickets are going on sale, and it's just a good source of information.
Hey, excellent. Always good to check.
Always good talking to you too. Thanks so much.